Hi everyone, and welcome back to Easy Cooking with Linda B. Today it's somewhat overcast here and it's a perfect day to cook. And what I'm going to make for you is a Mediterranean vegetable soup. It's perfect for vegan and vegetarian diets, and I'm going to show you how I put mine all together. Before I get started with making the soup, there's something I want to share with you. 6 months ago today, I had made a very big decision. And it's a decision of something I've always wanted to do. I didn't have the strength to do it. And I finally have done it. And what propelled me to do this is I knew I was having a grandson and I wanted to live for him. So obviously, I'm going in a direction. And yes, it was 6 months ago today I quit this. Only a few of my YouTube friends know that I had this bad habit. It's been a habit of mine for 50 years, and it was a very difficult one to shake, but I did it. I had to recognize my triggers, follow with them, eliminate those triggers, and I was successful. Well, one thing that happens with cigarette smokers is that when you do quit, there's a lot of changes that do occur in your body for the better, absolutely. But one of the drawbacks with quitting smoking is weight gain. Now, I've tried to work very hard and diligently on trying to keep my weight down, and I've been fairly successful. But I really want to get myself healthy. Now you'll understand why my videos are trending towards the healthier side of life here. So that's why I'm approaching this with a Mediterranean diet. I hope you will follow with me. Please stay with me. I hope I didn't lose you because I told you of my bad habit. Please support me. I just want to thank you. So one thing that's really good about the Mediterranean diet is that it keeps your system functioning as it should be. So this is loaded with vegetables. It's all vegetarian. And I really wish it was summer and I got fresh vegetables, but I'm working with what we have for the winter. So I have my Dutch oven heating up and I'm going to put in maybe about a tablespoon of the good extra virgin olive oil. Just like that, okay? So now what I'm going to do is take mushrooms. I love mushrooms. A lot of people do, and there's a lot of people that don't like mushrooms. If you don't like mushrooms, leave them out. So then what I'm going to do is put them right in my pot. And I have this heating up probably over about medium heat. I'm going to up it up a little bit. Okay, so what I want to do here is start with the mushrooms because I really want to kind of cook them to get the flavors out of them. So I'm also going to throw in some spice while I do that. I'm going to take some whole thyme, shake that right in there. And you'll find that the mushrooms will consume a lot of that oil. So if I have to put more in, I will, but just not too much. Oregano. Now, the other thing with Mediterranean diet is you will find a lot of fresh spices. Unfortunately, it's winter and there's not an abundance of them right now. I'm going to take some marjoram. So everything I'm using is dried spice. And I'm also going to add a little bit of paprika. Oh, that came out a little faster than I expected to, but I think it'll be fine. Okay, and I'm going to add pepper. Now, one thing is I'm not going to add salt right yet because there is salt in this vegetable broth. Okay, and I don't want to add too much salt. Part of the Mediterranean diet is to keep your sodium levels down too. Okay, so while this is working, I'm going to cook this up, give it a good stir, and yes, you can see how dry it is in there. So I will have to give it a little more olive oil. And then I'm going to let these cook for a few minutes until they get kind of toasted. And then I'll show you what I put in there next. Okay, so the mushrooms have been cooking for approximately 5 minutes. And they smell amazing too. Okay, and by the way, this was an 8-ounce package of white whole mushrooms that I just sliced. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take Well, this is a little more than a cup, which is about a half of a large onion that I chopped. It's a white onion. So I want to get that going with my mushrooms. This is really a very, very simple soup to make, and it will last you quite some time. And what you don't finish in a week, I would just freeze and save it for another time. Okay, so that's mixed up very well. I really, at this point, believe it or not, don't believe I have to add any more oil. Okay, so another thing that I'm going to add at this point are these vegetables. So what I have in here is I have carrots, I have one zucchini, I have celery, and then on the bottom I have kale. Now you don't have to use kale. You can use spinach, you can use escarole, you could use whatever greens you want, collard, anything of that nature. So I'm going to now put these in here. And it looks like a ton of stuff, but we all know that it's going to cook down. I'm going to cover it, let it get some steam and wilt down, and then I'm going to add a few more things and I'll show you what they are. Oh my, this is looking delicious. It's cooking down beautifully. So now I have a couple more things I want to add. I have 2 cloves of garlic here that I had minced. I'm going to throw that in. And also chickpeas. Chickpeas, now these were fresh chickpeas. I bought them, they're dry in the bag. I let them bloom overnight and then I boiled them the next day and now they're just perfect. So I'm going to stir these right in here. Let them start to cook. Okay, so I'm going to cover it up for about 2 minutes and I'm going to come right back. Okay, so these have been cooking for a couple minutes now. I know the rawness of the garlic is cooked out. So what I'm going to add here is this. I have lentils. Now, the great thing about the Mediterranean diet is that you could use a lot of whole grains or plant-based pastas. You could even use potatoes. Okay, and mix that in. Also, I have tomatoes. Now, these are tomatoes that I had prepared from last summer. Our local farm usually puts a box together and sells the box. I get them, I blanch them, I peel them, and then I freeze them. So I have this thawing and in its own liquid. I'm going to add that in. A lot of vegetables. A lot of vegetables in this soup, and it's so delicious. Okay. So another thing I have here is I just did a little bit of a bouillon. Now this is a vegetarian. This is not beef. It's vegetarian, better than bouillon, which I had mixed with about a cup of hot water. I'm going to pour that in there. And now, of course, I'm going to use the box of vegetable broth. Now I added the bouillon with water because I only have one box here and I may want to add a little more water to make it more of a soup or just to have more of a brothiness to it. And by adding that flavor into it, I can then go ahead and add more broth or water and keep that flavor going. And I'm going to mix this up. Now, at this point, I'm going to increase my heat. And then when it starts to come to a boil, I'm going to set it to a simmer. And I'm probably going to simmer it for about 15 minutes. Go in, taste it, check it for seasoning, and then I'll come back to you when it's done. All right, so this has been cooking for about 20 minutes. And the lentils are perfectly cooked. The carrots are soft. Everything is perfect from what I'm seeing right here. But what I want to do now is taste it. I want to make sure I have enough seasoning. Oh, that's good. Okay. The only thing I want to do is add some more pepper. I just like the pepperiness that will bring out that tomato flavor. So stir that in. And then one other thing I like to do, because I want to bring out the brightness of the soup, so I'm going to take a lime, a fresh lime. You could buy the ones in the bottle, but I always like the fresh better. And I'm going to cut this in half. And I'm going to, squeeze this right into the soup. Probably get about a teaspoon in here. I'm going to taste it again in a minute here. Oh, that lime really brings out the aroma, the flavor of this. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, I'm going to get another spoon. All right, here we go. That did a trick. That really did. Okay, so what I'm going to do is going to plate it up and I'll show you how I finish it off. Okay, so now I'm going to ladle up my soup. Look at all those veggies. Oh my goodness. This looks so delicious. Of course, you all know how much I love vegetables. Get that broth in there. And now what I will do is show you how I finish it off. Now, I'm going to take a little more lime because I love the citrus in this and pour it right in here. Then I'm going to follow up with some Parmesan Reggiano, like that. Okay, the moment I've been waiting for. Look at that beautiful soup. You could see everything in it. You could see the carrots and the zucchini and the kale and the chickpeas, celery, mushrooms, and oh my goodness, I am now going to stop talking and taste. Oh, boy, that's so good. I'm telling you, that little bit of lime really brings out the actual flavor of this. So I hope you enjoyed watching my video and of me making this beautiful Mediterranean vegetable soup, which is perfect for vegan and vegetarian diets. And remember, everyone, enjoy life and never stop learning. Bye now.